Hello, this is Dan Brooks with DB Creative, and today we are interviewing Wilhelmina Stöcker live from the View 28th Gallery in downtown Oklahoma City. So thank you for being here, Wilhelmina.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
So Wilhelmina, just to talk a little bit about your artistic background and your inspiration, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and how your journey as an artist began?
Okay, yes. Well, it goes way, way back. I was in elementary school. In the Netherlands, you don't have middle school, but it's a whole different story. So I was around 12 years old, and we have a different celebration called St. Nicholas, and you create something at home for somebody that you pick, and you have to buy a present for that person as well for that time. So I created last minute a little drawing of a dog, and when we were in the class the next day, they always try to guess whose present is from who, and they guessed. Well, they tried to guess mine, and they guessed a student that was the best drawer. She was very artistic, and because they thought it was a really good drawing. And I never really looked at things like, okay, I can draw really well or whatever. I just did whatever, and that made me think like, oh, hold on. If they think that was Annemiek was her name, then it must be I must be good. So then I started to kind of explore and start to draw, and that's really how it started. I didn't paint until I was in my early 20s because painting I always kind of was a little scared about. I thought it was hard to do paintings, but I put on my brave pants, if you wish, and I painted a lioness. I never will forget it. It was a full moon that night, and my boyfriend at the time, he was out fishing, and when he came home, he saw the painting. I painted it in a few hours, and he said, "Wow!" And every single time when somebody else told me it's good, that's when I realized, okay, I guess it is good. So let me explore more. So that's how I started, and I'm self-taught and open to learn. Every single time I paint, I try to do better.
Yeah. Well, that's a good segue into this next question. What first drew you to painting, and how has your style evolved over time?
Well, I don't remember what drew me to painting. I just think it was just trying out, being adventurous. But my style, I started with animals, and animals are still the main, drive or. I know. I don't know how to say it, but
Inspiration.
Yes, thank you. That comes across. But in the beginning, I started to paint animals in different colors. More, sometimes it was a blue lion or a purple koala bear, and I just. The colors I just did intuitively, whatever felt right with the image, because I always had an image as an example. People I didn't paint just yet because I thought it was kind of hard. So yeah, after a little bit though, I again was brave enough to explore and also started to paint humans as well.
Very nice. Well, I mean, you lived in quite a few different places, I guess, compared to most people. How has your environment influenced your creative expression?
Well, I was born and raised in the Netherlands. I lived also in British Columbia for a short period of time, and of course I moved to the United States, where I have been living since 2001. I'm not really sure how my environment influenced me, but the way I was raised is always free-spirited and not afraid to try new things. My mom was always very independent, and I have a lot from her as well. And my dad was always very structured. I also have a lot from him, and that combined, makes me, I guess, kind of critical sometimes, but still open, and willing to learn new things. I don't know if that answers your question, but
Yeah, I mean, because your journey kind of, you know, your journey will influence your creative expression.
right,
So,
yes. Yeah, so I painted far more. In the beginning, I maybe painted 1 or 2 paintings a year. And excuse me. But when I was pregnant with my second child, I got a lot of drive to paint. And at 1 month, I painted 15 paintings. Yeah, my son is also an artist now, and very, very good. If I can say that, I'm biased, of course, but so the influence, of your baby in the womb, tells you a story. That's what I've learned for sure. Sometimes people crave certain food or certain flavors, and later on, they find out that their child liked that as well. But in my case, it was the artistic talent, that kind of came out through my hands while when I had the baby in my womb.
absolutely. What are particular themes or emotions that you find yourself returning to in your work?
Very empowering themes, but especially in the last couple of years. That could also have to do with the situation, the life changes of myself. It has to do with truly what I'm experiencing in life. That makes it prevalent and comes true in my artistic creations. And it's really funny because at the time, whenever I feel drawn to a certain image, I don't really realize why. The why comes afterwards, intuitively also I always feel like, okay, what the good name is for the painting, and that tells you the story also of the emotions, of the growth, of the lessons, and of the more or less energy that it radiates.
Yeah, and that goes great for this next question to talk about. Tell us about, how do your life experiences from your professional background to your time in the military, how do those shape the stories behind your art?
Yeah, my professional background. It's interesting. It's just all a part of me, so I'm not only, an ex-sergeant or an ex-managing director or a current business consultant. I am so many different things. I'm a mom. I'm a woman. I am vulnerable. I am strong. I am emotional. And I'm determined, and all these different parts of me. I'm far more, of course, but I'm just giving you a little bit, to kind of create this picture of, and that goes for everybody. We cannot put ourselves in a box and give ourselves a name or give ourselves a title. We are anything and everything that we allow ourselves to be. So I leave that door open. So it all depends on the different paintings that I've created. I'm sitting behind Splendor. It's a very powerful horse that is ready, to engage in the splendor of existence. And excitement was felt when I finished that painting. And it's interesting because I also painted a lion that's called Intense, and the energies that fills the room is very intense. And it makes you focused, and it makes you intentional to put your best foot forward, if you wish.
Well, I've known you long enough to know that your artwork there's always stories behind your art.
Yes.
So, and there's meaning behind that. So, that's really interesting. So, thank you for sharing that. Let's talk a little bit now about your creative process and your techniques. Can you walk us through your creative process from the initial spark of inspiration to the final brushstroke?
Okay, yeah, it's not always the same way, but sometimes I'm just envisioning something, or I'm just watching TV, and all of a sudden I see this image, and then I feel, okay, that's what I need to paint. And other times I come across an image on the internet or on TV and of an animal, and that draws my attention, and I get fascinated about it. And then I create, well, I find the right picture. I always have to find the right image that calls me home, and I don't necessarily copy that image 100%. I sometimes combine 2 or 3 images and create my own creation. So when I have that image, available, I start with creating a sketch on the canvas, and then after that I fill in the canvas, create sometimes first the background, and other times I've just focused on the main image and create the detail of the eyes. As I said, it's not always the same way because it's self-taught, so I have my own rules, no rules, just whatever feels right, and I flow with that. And I have several videos of my painting process on YouTube. You can visit my YouTube channel. It's just my full name, Wilhelmina Stöcker. So if you're interested to watch that, and there's also Wilhelmina Stöcker shorts. But yes, so it is available to see.
Yeah, every artist has their own creative process, but yours is very fascinating, very interesting.
Thank you.
So thank you for sharing that. What mediums or materials do you most enjoy working with, and why?
Okay, well, I started off with oils. My first paintings in the Netherlands, I always painted with oils. But when I moved to the United States and got married and pregnant, I was not, comfortable with inhaling the fumes of the oil paints. It's not healthy, even though I didn't paint much, but I think I painted maybe 1 or 2 paintings during my first pregnancy. But I switched with and painted acrylics, started to use acrylics. And that's a whole different ball game because it dries really fast. But anyways, over time I learned to work with that and create my own technique, and I never stepped away from that. I'm now only working and using acrylic paints, and I don't know if that answers your question. But
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Do you plan your paintings ahead of time, or do they evolve intuitively as you create?
Well, yes, as I said, I don't really plan it. Sometimes a painting just sits there for weeks, sometimes months, and I watch it, and I have to go through a growing process before I can truly finish it. That's how I translate it. That's my story behind that. But sometimes I have to finish painting in the evening. So it's also, again, different, all depending on what is, the topic of creation. And sometimes a painting is created, it seems to go really, really fast. But then when I do the final detail stage, it takes hours because I can only stop whenever I feel that wow effect and that I know from the heart it's done.
So that kind of answers the next question I have. How do you know when a piece is truly finished? Because you can be a perfectionist and have so much attention to detail.
Right.
How do you know when that piece is just truly done?
Yeah. Well, I had to learn over time also to step away and let it be, But as I've grown, also my talent, my skills, I guess, has evolved, and I have some paintings at home that I didn't want to sell because it had a personal connection with it, I have been looking at it, and this year has been very interesting because this year I've optimized several paintings and just change things around.